Jets fall 23-10 in Baltimore this afternoon, now 2-9 on the season. And fellas, they look good, especially in that first half. Really, especially defensively, holding the Ravens to just 72 yards offensively. But there were a couple of things in the second half that you can really point to and say, okay, the game turned there. One was the decision by Aaron Glenn to go for it in his own territory on their first drive of the second half. Did not go well, and the Ravens ultimately scored a second touchdown after that. And the second was the Breece Hall fumble. Let's start with the decision, though, to go for it on 4th and 2, I believe, in their own territory after the Ravens had taken the lead.
I felt like Aaron Glenn should have leaned more on his defense, understanding where they were in the game and understanding that the Ravens couldn't march the field. Right, all the scores that they had was basically short fields, and I think that Aaron Glenn got anxious, if that's the proper time, but it's anxious, and I thought it really put the team in a downward spiral, because then the Ravens come down and then they score, and then now you start panicking. As a defense, you pretty much dominated the game on the defensive side of the ball, yet you see yourself down, and then give up a touchdown on 4th down is also crippling as well. But I think it started with the pass interference, and then it continued with a bad decision to go for it in your own territory.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between aggressive and being dumb. That was just dumb. I'm not trying to be dismissive. I have a lot of respect for Aaron Glenn, but you're looking at a team right now defensively who's putting up a hell of a fight. Lamar Jackson is obviously, we said it, is missing a step. He wasn't lighting you up with his legs. There's an opportunity to just stay in striking distance, right? Especially with the offense right now, with what Jets showed, that, listen, if they continue to feed Breece Hall through the second half, this could have been a different outcome. The way he was playing, then would lining things up. So he just had it's not Detroit. That's okay. I get what you did in Detroit. It's not Detroit. You don't have a Detroit-type team. This team is really trying to figure out what they could do on this Saturday, let alone for the rest of the season. So I just thought it just didn't make sense at that moment, and it cost them obviously the game.
It's a tricky one, right? Because they know, maybe they don't feel this, but the spread indicates they're a much lower-tiered team than Baltimore. Maybe they felt the way things went in the first half wasn't sustainable, and that at some point they had to be aggressive. I think my bigger issue, more so than going for it, because they're trying to be aggressive, trying to surprise the Ravens, and they did a good job of that in the first half, is I just don't understand why Breece Hall is not on the field in those situations. It's multiple 4th downs this year where Breece Hall is not on the field. And I get he can't be out there for every snap, but on a 4th and short where you're throwing the ball, he is your best pass-catching short area threat. And I think that takes away attention from the defense that could open things up elsewhere. So maybe that's something they have to look back and go, if we're going to go for it in this situation, we got to be prepared with the right personnel package. And I didn't think they had that set up right.
When you look at the difference between the first half and the second half, defensively at least, because I think I agree that obviously the result of the play was crippling for this team, and the result of the next drive, it changed everything in the game. But I do understand on some level the logic of going for it there, especially in a 2-8 season. However,
I don't.
No, well, you don't.
I don't understand the logic. That's why I called it stupid.
You have to read the room and read the game.
Right.
Like, it's better if Lamar threw for 153 yards, right? And Derrick Henry ran for 64 yards. Yeah. They have no explosiveness right now. Lamar looks like you got him under control. He can't hurt you with his feet. They did a great job in playing zone. Punt the ball, and you can flip the field position, knowing that you can get the ball back, and you were moving the ball decently against their offense, right? Tyrod was hitting guys.
And your offense would do a better shot.
Mechie was open, right? So this wasn't a game where Justin Fields like, we can't sustain any offense, get anything going. Fair. So go for it on the 40, understanding that if you go for it on your 40 and you don't get it, that they're right there 5 yards in field goal range, and now you flip the field, and now they get any type of score, and now you're down 2 scores.
Correct.
So now you have to press and not stick to the run game. Stick to going with your game plan, because now you understand that you're not a 2-score, come-from-behind type on offense. Like, that was an opportunity to believe in your defense. And people might say, Bart, well, he was doing that because he did believe in his defense.
No, he didn't.
No, it wasn't about that. Believing in your defense is putting the ball and trying to pin them deep and make them have to march 93 yards, which is something they couldn't do. I don't think they had a drive longer than 40 or 50 yards.
Nothing was clicking in front of them up front, especially when you saw Lamar in the pocket, and I think them switching from zone to man and coming in and out of that, you saw them look stagnant in the pocket, and the offensive line started getting penalties. You started seeing them unhinged. Yeah. So that's what Bart saying. Like, if you believe in your defense, let your defense go eat. Because two people that didn't have a big game that I wanted them to have a big game was Will McDonald and Jermaine Jackson. Now you give them opportunities. Hey, boys, we're going to let you go. See if we can get something. Now you let your eaters go eat. And that didn't happen. So, yeah, it didn't seem like it was the smart thing to do in that moment. I don't mean to be redundant.
No, you're not being redundant at all. And I think it's obviously it's not just a fair argument, it's probably the right argument. Right. When I say I understand, I think sometimes when a team is 2-8, it's like, all right, well, what do we have to lose? But what I was going to ask is, obviously in that first half defensively, the team was fantastic defensively. In the second half, it wasn't like they were terrible, but the Ravens were able to do some different things. So what was the difference in what you guys saw from the unit, whether it was Ravens making adjustments or the Jets defense getting exposed a little differently first half to second half?
It was just situational football, right? Like, they got the big, throw the ball up on a scramble drill. I forgot who that was. Isaiah Oliver didn't get his head turned around. But it was just that. That was the explosive play. Mm-hmm. The explosive play was the pass interference. Mm-hmm. And then the other opportunity you can say that was explosive or situational football was change of possession, when you go for it on fourth down. It was no other big plays. It was no other big completions. Lamar Jackson was off. He couldn't complete the pass to DeAndre Hopkins in end zone. It wasn't like Zay Flowers was going crazy. Mark Andrews wasn't dictating the game.
Yeah, Baltimore had a lot of drops.
That was a bad offensive game for them. Yeah. They're going back and saying, man, we got away with one. Thank God that the first person to blink. Like, when you playing this chess match, and we've been in a bunch of these where it's like, just keep going, play the smart play, don't beat ourselves, let them make the first big mistake. And the first big mistake was going forward in your own territory.